Pot is now legal in Canada, but it was already making a big difference in 2 Ontario communities well before legalization this week. Here to explain, in our studio at Queen's University in Kingston, our Eastern Ontario Hub editor, David Rockne Corrigan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jan.
Now, David, you grew up in the area of Smiths Falls, which has been dubbed the pot capital of Canada. I want to know what's been going on there for it to earn that title.
Well, Jan, as some people may remember, for many, many years, Smiths Falls was home to the Hershey Chocolate Factory. And in 2008, that factory closed down. A lot of jobs were lost. And that facility has basically sat vacant for the last, it sat vacant for about 6 years. And then a company called, at that time called Tweed, came knocking on Smiths Falls' door and said, we would like to start a cannabis production facility in your town, and we'd like to use this space. And they were pretty desperate at the time for a tenant for that spot, so they said yes, and so that was 2014 that Tweed moved into town. They've since changed their name to Canopy Growth Corporation, and they have been a part of this budding industry. So they were first providing medical cannabis, which they still do, and now that it's legal for recreational use, they're expecting to grow even further.
Now, you actually had a chance this past summer to visit Canopy Growth. It's described as the world's largest cannabis company. I know we have some visuals, but tell me, what was it like in there?
So I'll take you back to growing up as a kid in Eastern Ontario, as I'm sure other people may remember going on tours of the Hershey Chocolate Factory. Very exciting for a child. I went back this summer to see them in all their new glory, this building, and I walked around similar to as I would have done as a kid, except instead of vats of chocolate, there are cannabis plants, and there are rooms filled with mask-wearing technicians doing quality control. They distribute, they package the stuff there. It's quite the transformation. It's a big facility. When I was there, they were building, they were renovating one part. They were building a whole new other facility. There was certainly a buzz in the air, and I think that with the legalization now, they're expecting to grow even further.
I want to know, how did this company manage to get this big without legalization? How did they get so big?
Well, as I mentioned, they have been in the medical cannabis industry. I've been told that just recently, actually, they made their 1 millionth, they completed their 1 millionth order for medical cannabis. So they have been working in this industry for quite a while. They have been familiar with Health Canada standards for medical cannabis. So this isn't something new to them. They really have been around now for several years, and with the Trudeau Liberals legalizing cannabis for recreational use, they saw the writing on the wall, and they have just been building up so that they were able to hit the ground running come October 17th.
Now, Canopy Growth made some headlines earlier this month. Can you tell me about some of the recent moves the business has done?
Yeah, so I mean, the business is growing like a weed, I guess would be one way of putting it. The stock price at the start of 2017 was at about $9. They're now at about 65. They seem to be making acquisitions and deals every other week. Earlier this week, they bought a hemp research company. This is really an intellectual property play for about $125 million. Last month, a company called Constellation Brands, which is a beverage company that owns Corona, invested $5 billion. So they're hoping that will, kickstart their cannabis beverage sales that they hope to be a leader in, the company has really grown. I think the market cap, the most recent market capitalization that I saw, has the company valued at about $14 billion. And just for comparison's sake, 2 other companies, Canadian companies that you may have heard of, Canadian Tire and Bombardier, are at about $9.5 billion market cap. So that gives you a sense of just the scale of this company. And they really are, they've been growing quite substantially in a pretty short amount of time.
I have to imagine good things are only going to come for this company with legalization. How does it change Does it change anything for this company?
Well, when I visited them a couple of months ago, one employee there described it to me as dress rehearsal. That all of the work that they've been doing up until October 17th was in preparation, because they did have this medical service going, but they realized that once it's legalized, that the customer base has grown substantially. So cannabis in Canada, recreational cannabis, is expected to be about a $6.5 billion industry in Canada. This would be a new industry, at least the legal industry. To give you an example of another industry, the wine industry in Canada is at about $6 billion. So this could be, this could compare to the size of the wine industry.
Now, you talked about your childhood, smelling the chocolate and stuff. I want to know, does this cannabis facility, how does it affect the town? I'm sure there's people on both sides, whether it's good or bad, but has it had a negative or positive impact on the town?
Well, I mean, it's mostly been positive. I know that at this point, Canopy Growth employs more than 800 people in Smiths Falls. That's more than the Hershey Chocolate Factory ever employed. They expect to be hiring about another 1,000 people over the next 6 months to a year, many of which those jobs will be in Smiths Falls. So it has set the fortunes of the town around pretty drastically. I spoke to the mayor, Sean Panko of Smiths Falls, and he told me that for a long time there was a cloud hanging over this community, that with the loss of the Hershey Chocolate Factory, with the loss of a regional hospital several years ago and a tool maker, that a lot of jobs were being lost. And so for Canopy Growth to come in here, things have really turned around. So much so, in fact, that it's put a bit of a real estate crunch in Smiths Falls. There are more builds, more development proposals and builds than at any time in Smiths Falls' recent history. So things have turned around, and you'd be surprised that there actually hasn't been that much pushback. I mean, now with legalization, the company could grow, but it does seem really that it's just sort of growing pains, that the strain on the infrastructure, the strain on the real estate market, are the negative side effects. And frankly, those are good problems to have for a community like Smiths Falls.
Now, business has also been booming for cannabis dispensaries in one region in Eastern Ontario. How did they become such a massive industry there? Well,
so you're talking about Tyendinaga Mohawk territory, which is closer to my neck of the woods. It's about 70 kilometers west of Kingston is Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. And this is the primary reserve of the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. And they, since 2014, have been selling cannabis on dispensaries on reserve. So one of these dispensaries, a store called Legacy 420, was started in 2014. It now employs about 40 people with a multi-million-dollar payroll, and tens of millions of dollars in revenue. And other dispensaries have popped up in the years since. There are more than 30 of them now on reserve. It seems that every 100 meters or so there's a dispensary, and you walk in and you can purchase cannabis. I think there were fears as legalization approached. What would happen to these dispensaries? They occupy a sort of a gray area of the law, but with relative autonomy on this reserve, they're not really concerned that the feds or the province will come in and crack down on cannabis sales. Though there are fears, perhaps, that people may turn to online. So, for instance, in Ontario, the first cannabis sales will be done only through online. So there is fear that people, instead of stopping off the 401 and picking up cannabis here, that they may do so online. But so far, it seems like it's business as usual for the cannabis dispensaries on this territory.
Well, cannabis legalization is just in its infancy, so I'm sure we will continue to monitor this with you, David Rockne Corrigan. Thanks again. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Jan.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario, helping businesses stay on the right side of change with strategic thinking, insightful decisions, and business leadership. Are you on the right side of change? Ask an Ontario CPA.